Imagine just working 4 days a week, having the flexibility to work from anywhere in the world, and still drawing a handsome salary at the end of the month.
So I usually work around 3 hours a day.
And how many leaves you get? We have unlimited pay.
If you work remotely, the personal touch, the personal connection is missing.
How did you apply to this remote job at Civo?
There's always been a very, very important role in my journey.
What sort of tech stacks are mostly used for in terms of open source?
JS, Go, and
So now let's jump on to the question that everyone is waiting for. Can you walk us through the compensation structure, your compensation structure? For an SD1, okay? And is TSA required to crack this company? Imagine just working 4 days a week, having the flexibility to work from anywhere in the world, and still drawing a handsome salary at the end of the month. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, for my guest today, it's not just a fantasy, he's actually living this dream. So, welcome Uzair. Thanks for doing this. He's actually working at Civo, a remote first company, and also which is a cloud native company as well. So, we'll get to know more about his company, about the perks that he get, how did he land up this role, how can you get a remote job too. You'll be also sharing some insights on that, along with the perks, the compensation, and a host of other things. So, it will be a very insightful conversation. So, without any further ado, thank you so much, Uzair.
Aviredi, thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you for coming all over here. Thank you for all the hassle battle you do. And yeah, glad to be on your channel.
I mean, I have a couple of questions for you. I know a lot of like audience would love to know about that, but I have a personal question. Okay, so how do you manage social life when you work for these remote companies? Because I feel it's like you are just stuck at your home, at your place, at your desk, right? And you cannot move out, you cannot socialize with your colleagues. So, and I think the serendipity is also missing, right? Because when you are working from office, right, you get to have a chit chat with your colleagues. So, how do you balance that when you're working remotely?
That is very true. Like if you work remotely, the personal touch, the personal connection is missing. Okay, and it impacts your learning as well. Like if you worked on site or at a company, the 10-minute conversation you have with your colleague on some work related or tech discussion will be more impactful than a 1 hour long huddle that you'll have. But yeah, that's a trade-off that we have to give for some flexibility for some comfort of our own. So and coming back to socializing, since we are remote, we are most of the employees are all over the world. We really get a chance to meet them only when we do company sponsored travel or for some event where everyone is gathered. Like recently, a bunch of people from Civo flew to India for QCon Delhi. I met a lot of my colleagues there. But mostly socializing for me is my friends, which I made to college, to my peers, uh, common friends, etc., etc. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, cool. So, now on that, do you guys also get to travel internationally, sponsored by the companies?
Yeah, we do it for company sponsored events or for some events which are crucial to company like QCon. Since we are cloud native company, we have to be on the cloud market. We have to make an impact. We have to like keep buzzing around. So for QCon, for similar events, and we at Civo do a like very flagship event of our own called Civo Navigate. So for Navigate, whole of the like a lot of people from our team travel internationally for Berlin, etc., etc. Yeah, that we do it.
So, have you been anywhere as of now?
I am going to Berlin and SF.
Cool. That's interesting. Another question is like 4 days a week, right? 4 days a work week. That's super cool and that's like a dream. But wanted to understand what are the other perks apart from this that you get while working for these remote tech companies?
4 days a week, and if we have an public holiday or an international holiday, it sometimes it transforms to 5 days or 6 days a week, and we even have unlimited paid leave. So sometimes it can also transform to 7 days a week, and
And how many leaves you get? Like, how many leaves apart from paid leaves that you get? We have unlimited paid leaves. So you have unlimited PIs. Oh, interesting. But in that case also, like let's say if you have a limited set of leaves, right? At the end of the like when we leave the company, we are compensated for the leaves. Do you have any such policy?
I don't think we. Apart from that, the thing that I like the most at CO is flexibility to choose our own perk. Like I get to choose on what project do I want to work on, what uh product do I want to work on, what team do I want to work on. Recently I had a conversation with my CTO that I wanna like interact with clients more, etc., etc. And he agreed. We came on a common ground to find me a like thing, but which I don't think will be possible in other companies. Like if we take an example of GCP, Azure, or AWS or any other company, let's say, they won't let an engineer go and talk to clients and do pre-sales stuff and clients research stuff, etc. So yeah, that is the thing that I like the most here at Civo. And yeah, these are cherry on the top. I don't take much leaves because the work culture is so nice. Uh, we are remotely, so we don't have any particular strict work timings. So I usually work around 3 hours a day, 3 hours a day, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, so I think you don't need leaves because 4 days a week, 3 hours a day, and that too unlimited paid leave. So yeah, I mean, does it make sense?
Well, if I'm going for vacation or for on a family holiday, I just have to write on Slack that I'll be on leave from this to this. Ping me if it's urgent, and please hesitate to reach out to.
So now let's jump on to the question that everyone is waiting for. How did you apply to this remote job at Cibo? And also maybe you can touch on like from where did you pass out and how has been your college journey in short, but mostly you can focus on how do you land up a remote job.
Okay, I'll just quickly brief my journey. I completed my graduation from KIT Bhubaneswar. It's a tier 3 college. And I started my journey in second year itself. I worked for a startup called Dukan. I was in their very initial engineering team when Subhash, yes, I used to work with Subhash. I was in second year. Then after that, I worked for HackerRank. And after HackerRank, I went to work for Fambe, and then I all these were internships. And then after Fampe, I went to work with a team who were building Solana products. So I did some lot of Web3 stuff. I'm still in Web3. I'm a super team member as of now. And uh, those who know about Solana, they know what super team is. And after Solana, after that product, I'm here at Civo. So open source has always been a very, very important role in my journey. Uh, Even the internship which I landed in Lucan was because of open source. I used to contribute a lot. I in GSOP projects, uh, and like there was a project called Intel Owl. I contributed to a lot of HoneyNet projects, and I was constantly building in public. I had my personal brand on Twitter, and that's why I it was easy for me to land a job at Dukan, and after that I got a kickstart for my career. And coming back to Civo, Civo has a few of open source projects which are just open source for transparency, but I found them. I knew Civo. Through Kunal. Everyone heard a lot about it. So I just wandered to see what tech stack they use. And I found they have their Terraform provider, CLI, SDK, and Crossplane provider. All of these are open source. So I found issues in them, and I started contributing to them. I think almost had like 15, 60 PR merged in them. And so I was just searching for a gig. I was just constantly making PRs and all. So one day I saw an email in my inbox that they want to interview me. I think because of my contributions to the open source project. So I had a very quick interview, a very short one. In the morning, the interview happened, and in the evening, I got the offer letter. And currently, I lead all those projects in which I was contributing to. I lead Terraform, I lead CLI, I lead SDK, I lead Crossplane, and I also lead CSI now.
Okay, how was the interview process? Like how many rounds do you go through? What?
I just had to go through one round, but now I think it's maybe because of I was already a prior contribution. They had enough confident on me. But right now, I think we have changed our hiring process a lot. We have, I think, 2, 3 rounds maybe. One is the initial screening one, in which we ask Golang basics, Linux basics, Docker, Kubernetes. Second one is a little bit of system design. Third one is just chit chat, hi, hello, vibe check round. And yeah, that's it. We do not have a fixed hiring scenario. We constantly change it as per the requirements, as per the kind of scenario, as per the candidate. Yeah. So if we found a candidate who's very, very good, we can just wrap it up in one round itself.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. So now I understand that for most of these remote companies, it's very important to do open source, right? So for someone who is watching this video, maybe in the first or second year of college and is kind of trying to rummage around his way to like start contributing to open source, what would be your advice to you? Maybe you can like take some insight from your journey, the things that you did, and maybe help the audience who is right now very naive and just wants to start off with you.
Correct. So the biggest mistake that people do, I've seen, is they contribute to open source because they want to contribute to open source. I hope you understand what I want to say. They do not know what the project is doing. They do not know what problem it is solving. They do not know. They have not even used the project, but still they are trying to contribute, and they see the like very big code base, and they get confused, and they like lose faith in themselves eventually. But that is not how you should proceed. First, you should see the project, use the project, understand why it is being built, what problem it is solving, build it locally. Locally try to use it, and then the issues that are listed will start to make sense to you. And it's not necessary that you should know the whole code base, you should understand the whole code base. For a particular issue, you should at least know one file, two file, three file. That is enough. You don't need to get an understanding of the whole code base. And yeah, it will be very difficult for someone to like make a first PR in a particular project, but later on it will be very easy for them, as if they know the code base, and they'll eventually get to know the code base as they contribute. So yeah, just don't contribute because you want to contribute, or just because source will help you get a job, etc., etc. If that's the mindset, I don't think they'll reach further.
I think that's a very interesting point, because I think you should first use that code base and understand what exactly it is doing and try to see it from a product perspective before actually getting into the code. But now I'm just trying to get into the minds of the audience. I'm very sure the audience, especially you are in their first and second years, they will have this question. It's like, let's say I have only done C, maybe a bit of Java, object oriented programming, a bit of web programming, right? And now let's say I go into any open source budget, like any of the open source products from Civo, and I see all these fancy tech stuff being thrown at me like Golang, Kubernetes, I might feel overwhelmed, right? So now what? So I am very sure you have also gone through that journey, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So how do you approach that? Like, you first go and start learning these tech stacks and be an expert in it, and then start contributing to it, or you just first like you just delve into it and try to learn on the go.
Yeah, try to learn on the go is a nice thing, but I will suggest to contribute only where you have your expertise on, because since it's open source, since a lot of people are gonna use it, since you won't have you won't have anyone to help, hold your hands and guide you through the project. So if you do not know Kubernetes properly, you do not know internals properly, you do not know what the kube server is, what the internal APIs for Kubernetes are. So how can you contribute in a project with which is related to Kubernetes, which is related to cloud native? Uh, if you try to do so, you'll get overwhelmed. You'll eventually get stuck in tutorial hell, I believe. So you'll think that, okay, this is this. I'll first go learn this. I'll go watch this tutorial and then come back. But it will still not make sense to you because they are doing some another level of tech shit. Right. So contribute only where you have expertise on. And I think there's a very nice website called gsockorganization.dev. It's very popular. You can just go there, filter by your tech stack, and find the projects that that interest you. And those are very high value projects.
Okay. So can you, like, since you are from this industry, right? Can you tell the audience that what sort of tech stacks are mostly used for in terms of open source?
JS, Go is mainly used for cloud native or system level thing, and Python is also very good. Vastly used in backend, Django, and yeah, mostly that is what covers the most. I mean, the small projects, the one which people could get started on.
So I understand that you were already contributing to open source, and as a result, as we had already a good faith, so you got hired, right? So now, for example, let's say if someone just directly want to apply to this remote pathways, being a fresher, right? Maybe he's already contributing to open source, maybe he's not, right? How can he do so? And how can he? Is there any job portal where you can go and check and apply over there? Any specific tips and tricks that you would like to get for these sort of people?
I don't know about a job portal, but what I usually do is when I found a project or product interesting, I'll even like now, even if I'm while working at Civo, we use some lot of open source projects. I come across a lot of open source, lot of new cool products every week. I always keep an eye on their high careers page, and I go on LinkedIn. I send connection request to relevant folks of that company just to have them handy. And whenever the time is right, I already have email draft. I'll just hit the send button with the correct recipient address. But I don't know about a job portal or particular job portal which have open source listing and all. But yeah, that is what I will suggest. Like for companies who are uh, onto OSS and who have remote cultures, that vibe of companies, they usually prefer candidates who have already prior proof of work through open source or through personal branding.
Any such companies like Civo you can think of?
Other than Civo, Quadrant is a vector search database. Latitude.sh, it's again a cloud native company. Headout is a very famous, like if you use Twitter and you are in tech today, you must know about Headout. Uh, uh, FamPay also does the same. Q first, Q word. Now all the cloud natives companies are coming into my mind.
Nice. That's interesting. I mean, obviously, you can research and you can also get to know. I think Twitter is also a nice place to.
Twitter is a very nice place for someone who is in tech to build their personal brand. I think all the gigs I got are from Twitter. Me.
Yeah. And is TSA required to crack these companies are having a good.
Not really, Patrick. I will suggest to get a hand of DSA to understand what programming is, how things work, how do we build logic, etc., etc.
Like the basic data structure algorithms, so your fundamentals, but not the quintessential coding interview problems. Right?
Yes. Not a lead code hard, the grinding lead code all day.
I think a lot of people will actually find that interesting.
Yeah, rather than that, focus on building projects that solve a real world problem. Don't just build a project to build a project.
Right.
Build something that will solve a problem, deploy it, and then finally, 100% you'll get something out of it.
Actually, the best thing is we're more in close with the software engineering part, and I'm very sure a lot of people, most of you might hate doing DSA. So yeah, this is actually a nice career path to choose. So you definitely consider it. I'm very sure there's a lot of less information about this, especially in our space. I mean, there are people obviously doing it, but I find in India people are mostly chasing fan companies and all, which is also have their own sense of benefits. So okay, so now people have this conjecture that there is no security in remote jobs. It's like a contractual job. Is it true?
No, not really. If I talk about Civo, we haven't a private entity here registered in India, in Indranagar, Bangalore itself. So if Civo hires someone from India, you are hired by Civo India Private Limited, and you have full job security. Yeah, even if you, by God forbid, are laid off, you get 3 months of your severance package, Bogra 358, your MacBook, etc. will be with you the traditional way. So yeah, it's not a contractual position. You'll be hired as a full-time employee.
And since the office is registered in India, I guess you are paying taxes according to Indian government.
Yes, that is hard. We have to pay taxes according to Indian government.
I think there's an option, right, for some of the remote companies that they give that either you can choose a contractual or a freelance,
Yeah,
freelancer.
that is there, but I don't think we at Civo give this option. But yeah, a lot of companies do have it.
Right, but I think it's also gets slightly risky. It actually does sports. Yeah. So now we have come to that clickbaity part of the video. I am very sure like audience are waiting for it. So just for the motivation of the audience and just for the views, can you talk about or walk us through your compensation structure at CB, especially the SD1 level, and then we can talk about because he recently got promoted, so we can also talk about that numbers if you.
Okay, cool. I'll start from my internship one. From if we hire an intern, we give more than 1 lakh per month in hand. That is the base. We do not deduct any taxes and all. The TDS, etc. That is just deducted by the government. Coming to the SD1, we don't have an SD1 position. We have just junior developer, junior Go developer like that, or depending on the team. So it will be around. I'll give a range which is around 35 to 40 base. That is the base, and we don't offer anything other than base. So uh, taxes are being deducted from that, and yeah, that's it. We don't offer equity, we don't offer ESOPs.
It doesn't make sense as well, right? Because
Yeah,
I mean, you guys are not listed, so
we are not yet listed, so that's just paper money as of now.
yeah, I think that's all I had to ask you, Uzair. So thank you so much again for doing this. I hope this video was insightful, and if it was, don't forget to press the like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell icon if you want more such videos on software engineering and tech career and remote work. So every time I upload such video, you would be notified. Also, comment down below after watching this video, did you feel motivated enough to go for a remote job, or you still prefer an in-office experience and dream to still work for the fan companies? Both paths are open for you and my job, and also thanks to Zed that we were able to give you more insights on different avenues as well, which you can also explore. So thank you, Uzair. Thanks once again for doing this, and we'll see you in the next one.